Good evening. I'm Judge Jade, and you, sir, are
Ran Willford.
Mr. Willford. Citation charging you with earlier this week. It's like Friday. It's a little hard to tell. Alleged to have occurred there at the jail. We'll appoint Douglas Taylor to represent you on these charges. Set a pretrial for tomorrow at 1 o'clock. $250 bond. You have to have contact with the alleged victim. Do you understand that?
Sit down. Say one more time.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Daniel Atkins.
Mr. Atkins, I have warrant here out of Pima County Superior Court charging you with armed robbery and aggravated robbery alleged occurred on. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on the, Karina Molnar to represent you on these charges. Set an arraignment date for March 25th at 1:30. And did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
As the court to note, he does have the DOC hold, so he's going to remain in custody regardless. And I think he also has an additional $5,000 bond that he's already been unable to pay. So we just asked the court to impose a nominal bond for time.
Bond will be $7,500 secured. Pretrial services if you post bond, although with the DOC hold, that's not likely to happen. No firearms or weapons, no contact with the alleged victims, no return to the incident locations. Substance abuse and behavioral health assessment and treatment is available in custody or under the direction and supervision of pretrial services if you are out of custody. Thank you, Mr. Atkins.
Ooh, I'm sorry. Your Honor, I apologize. What's the PH date for him?
It's an arraignment date of the 25th.
Oh, I apologize. Thank you. One second.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shea and you are
Orlando Leas.
Mr. Leas. I have a warrant here out of Pima County Superior Court charging you with possession of dangerous drug, possession of paraphernalia, both alleged to have occurred on or about the 27th day of February. You also have a probation violation hold. We'll set an arraignment date for March 25th at 1:30. Appoint the public defender's office to represent you on these charges. And does either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
No, Your Honor, nothing further.
Your Honor, we would just ask the court impose a nominal bond for time credit, given that these, the probation hold and given the allegations in this case are personal drug possession.
Bond will be $2,500. Pretrial services if the bond is posted. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Thank you.
Daniel. I was here, sir.
Yes.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shade and you, sir, are
I'm Daniel Ortega, ma'am. Your Honor.
Mr. Ortega. I have quite a number of things here for you.
Uh.
I have a warrant out of Casa Grande. Charges for shoplifting, possession of paraphernalia, alleged to occur on May 6th of 2020, failing to appear on January 12th of 2022. I'll reduce the bond on this to $500 from the $2,600 requested by the judge. Once you are released on Pima County charges, and we'll talk about those in a moment, Pinal County will have 24 hours to make arrangements to pick you up, a total of 72 hours to actually pick you up. If they do not do that, then you would be released and you would need to appear in Casa Grande Justice Court. Right now, the court dates listed is April the 1st at 9 o'clock in the morning. If it's after that, when you get out of custody and they don't come pick you up, you need to contact them immediately. Their address is on the paperwork. Looks like charges of theft and domestic violence assault. Two different files. I do not have the dates other than the domestic violence and the theft charge from 2000. We'll appoint Janet Altschuler to represent you on these charges. Bond is $2,499 on these. Your next court date will be at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. No acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons, no alcohol or illegal drugs. We'll set this for the same court date. You're not to go back to the incident location. And again, Ms. Altscher will be representing you for now. Thank you, Mr. Ortega.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I'd like to say something. I just got released from a federal prison. I've been in prison for these last 3 years.
Well,
And
these charges go back to 2000. You'll talk to your attorney.
yeah.
You'll talk to your attorney about it tomorrow. I will make a note on the file, though. Good evening. I'm Judge Hayden. You, sir, are
Adam Silva.
have an intercomplaint charging you with domestic violence, criminal damage, and domestic violence disorderly conduct. Your next court date on this matter is going to be April the 16th at 10:30 in the morning in the Oro Valley City Court. Conditions of release include no acts of domestic violence, no alcohol or illegal drugs, substance abuse and behavioral health assessment and treatment, and you do not leave the state of Arizona without court permission. Do you understand that?
Your Honor, I don't live in Arizona, ma'am. I live in New Mexico.
I know that, and I'm telling you
Oh,
that
sorry.
unless you get permission from the Oro Valley magistrate, you do not leave the state of Arizona.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's a standard condition of release in Class 1 misdemeanors. You do not
ma'am.
leave the state of Arizona.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you can file a motion with Judge Hazel, but you do not leave the state of Arizona. Next court date is April the 16th at 10:30 in the morning in the Oro Valley City Court. All right, thank you, Mr. Silva. Good evening. You are
Michael Small.
Mr. Small. I have two warrants here for you, both out of Miranda. I have a warrant charging you with shoplifting alleged to have occurred on October 4th of this year, excuse me, 2023. So about a year and a half ago, failing to appear on December 5th of 2023. I also have additional warrant charging you with shoplifting. Excuse me, hold on. Sorry, I was misreading things here. So starting with the Miranda case, I'll reduce that bond to $250. Appoint Janet Elpsell to represent you. Next court date will be at noon tomorrow. You're not to return to that incident location. On July the 17th. Will appoint Samuel Washington to represent you on these charges. This bond will also be reduced to $250. Court date set for tomorrow at 1 o'clock. And Samuel Washington will represent you on that matter. You're not to return to either incident location. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Good evening, I'm Judge Hayden. You, sir, are
How you doing, Judge? My name is Mr. Soto Jacob.
in a complaint or citations charging you with domestic violence, disorderly conduct, domestic violence, criminal damage, and possession of prescription-only drugs, alleged occurred early this morning. We'll appoint Adam Waters to represent you on these. Fine is going to be $1,000. You have any contact with Flora, only asking you're not to return to her within 3 blocks of her residence or workplace. Jill, you've got the mic muted.
No, I don't think I do.
No, you can't control it. They've taken care of it. Out of custody, you need to obtain a behavioral health assessment and treatment.
Yes, ma'am. I'll do that today.
No alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or weapons.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Next court date is tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, so you want me to, where do I show up at the Superior Court?
Here, hold on.
Nope,
Oh, oh, you-
and that'll be Pima County Justice Court. But you've got
It's $100, but okay, so I can call a bondsman right now?
you can make whatever arrangements you can do from there at the jail to bond out, but parole may be placing a hold on you. So you never know. But you need to contact your parole officer within 1 business day of your release. So if you bound out tonight, you contact your parole officer tomorrow. Do you understand that?
Understand what illicit drugs were found, because I have I have a prescription, alprazolams.
Well, this was
You can
that.
look it up.
This was that.
Yeah, yes, I'm surprised. I'm Scraps Annex.
Well, but you didn't have it in the prescription bottle. That's the problem. You need to, if you're going to carry it, it needs to be in the bottle. All right, 1 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you, Mr. Simpson. Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are,
I don't know what you guys got me under now, man.
What's your name?
My real name?
Yes.
That's what you guys already know. So what are you guys asking?
This is the judge. The judge doesn't know. What's your name?
Wayne, I guess. You guys call me, man.
what's your full name, sir?
I don't know what you guys got on me, man.
I'm asking you for your name, sir.
Wayne. I guess my middle name's Howard. That's what you guys call me, man.
What's your last name?
My last name is Ran. Go leave. Go do somewhere, man. Go clean up a little bit something. I don't know. You guys do something with your fucking life, man. You motherfuckers going out there doing.
Mr. Russell, citation is charging you with drinking in public and disorderly conduct alleged to occur based on your behavior this evening. I'm going to hold you on a $250 secured bond. Appoint Janet Altschuler to represent you on these charges. Your next court date will be tomorrow at noon. You're not to have contact with the alleged victims, possess any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you're not to return within 3 blocks of the incident location of 3780 West Ina.
I was disturbing the peace of.
Yes, you are. Shush.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Russell.
Let's
All
go.
right, man. You have a good one, man. Sorry.
What do you?
Stay in line. Stay in line.
I think I'll leave it where it is. And you are
Jerry Clayton?
Clayton. I have new charges here charging you with violating a court order. Alleged occurred at 8 o'clock this morning at 2435 North Castro. I'm going to appoint the public defender's office you on these charges. Consolidated it with your other charges. $200. You're not of 2435 North Castro. No alcohol or illegal drugs. And I'd suggest you not discuss with anybody other than your attorney. Your next court date is going to be Monday custody. No, excuse me, Tuesday, the 25th. I'm sorry. If you're out of custody, your court date is Wednesday, the 26th at 2:00. Thank you, Ms. Clayton. Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Jason Krug,
Mr. Krug, in a complaint charging you with possession of dangerous drugs, possession of narcotic drugs, possession of paraphernalia. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
No, Your Honor.
Given the state's recommendation, no, Your Honor.
Your preliminary hearing date is going to be April the 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon in the Pima County Justice Court. You're going to be released to the third-party custody of pretrial services. You'll comply with monitoring or treatment under their supervision, including substance abuse assessment and treatment. No alcohol or illegal drugs. No acts of domestic violence. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Krug. Good evening, I'm Judge Hayat, and you are
Esmeralda Nubes.
Ms. Nuevas. I have a warrant here out of Pinal County Superior Court charging you with possession of dangerous drugs for sales, transportation or sale, and also possession of dangerous drugs for sale. These are alleged to have occurred on or about October the 30th of 2018. Looks like you were in custody here in Pima County on September the 13th of last year. So just about 6 months ago, you were released and apparently did not appear in Pinal County. So they issued another warrant.
Your Honor, I was unaware that there was a court date set for me. And then I did due diligence. I called and I looked up in the system because I have a sister that worked in the court system, and she couldn't find anything on me. And then all of a sudden, like a month later, according to the officer that arrested me today, told me that they had issued a warrant. So once I did my due diligence, I didn't think that I had anything to worry about.
Well, when you were released from Pima County in September, they would have told you to contact the court directly or give you a court date.
Yes, I did, Your Honor. I called them, and they told me that they didn't show any records on me.
Well, clearly they had records on you.
So today when they booked me, the lady in the front office told me, you know, once I leave here today, make sure I show up over there at least 3 days later, no later than 3 days later. And that's what I intend to do. Because I don't want to be picked up again. This is my second time. I feel awful about it.
Well, it's actually your third time since you were arrested initially in 2018. I'm going to reduce their requested bond from $25,000 to $5,000.
You're-
I'd suggest
Before you finish,
If I could have a moment, Your Honor.
you may.
Your Honor, I understand, for Ms. Nunez, her co-defendant's already been, sentenced in this case. It was her ex-husband. These charges are from 2018. This is her only felony arrest of any kind at the age of 65. I understand that she has missed court. But given that this occurred 6.5 years ago, this is her only felony arrest. She is 65. She did vow to the court that she made efforts to follow up after she was released from jail. We would ask that you give her one more opportunity on pretrial services release.
I'll reduce the bond to $2,500, but I will not do pretrial services or OR. Review hearing will be April the 18th at 9 a.m. if for some reason Pinal County has not come to pick you.
What does that mean?
If you post the bond, then you need to contact Pinal County. Go to Pinal County Justice Court. No alcohol or illegal drugs, and you'll be under the supervision of pretrial services. Right, thank you.
Stay out there with the female. Pringle.
Good evening, I'm Judge Fayette, and you are?
good evening. I'm Bria Pringle Vaughn.
Ms. Pringle Vaughn. I have an interim complaint charging you with 6 counts of disorderly conduct.
No, ma'am.
Alleged occurred, domestic
I'm
violence
sorry.
alleged occurred earlier today. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges. And did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
No, Your Honor, not from the state. Thank you.
And nothing further given the state's recommendation, Your Honor.
preliminary hearing date will be April the 7th at 1:30 in the afternoon in the Pima County Justice Court. You'll be released to the third-party custody of pretrial services. You'll participate in monitoring and treatment under their supervision. That will include no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no contact with Zakira Willis, no return to that person's residence or workplace. If that person wishes to have contact with you, they can file a motion in Pima County Justice Court, but you don't have contact with them in the meantime. And you still,
Yes, ma'am.
and you still can't go back to the residence unless your mother and
Jory Pringle. Jory Pringle. My mother,
correct. My most recent information is that she wasn't sure if she wanted you back at the house. So you don't go back there unless she files a motion with the court saying that you can go back there. Do you not? Do you understand that?
I can go to my house. That's fine with me.
All right. And of course, you don't leave the state of Arizona. If you need temporary housing, you can check with the transition center on your way out of the jail, and they may be able to assist you or direct you. All right. And other than the course of behavioral health assessment and treatment, I'd suggest you not discuss this matter with anyone except your attorney. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think that was our last hearing, Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
That's all I've got.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thanks, you
Yeah, have a good night, everybody.